Hey guys. So I figured I would do some sort of update. Yeah. The energies as of late have been, I don't know. The energies have just been like, it's almost like wildly swinging all over the place. Um yeah, not really sure how to interpret it. But I figured I'd come live and try and give some sort of an update. It's been, have there been earthquakes? I've been really off of everything. Like I've been really off of everything, just trying to get some stuff done. And man, lots of wild swinging of energy. A lot of, almost like roadblocks. I I don't even know how to describe it. It's almost as though the things that should be accomplished in an easier way um, are not. Um, like it's almost like Murphy's Law has gotten out of hand. How big was the earthquake in the Caribbean? Um, but yeah, it's almost like Murphy's Law has gotten out of hand. A lot of shifting, a lot of emotions being thrown everywhere. Oh, well, that's a lovely number, isn't it? 7.7. It's a pretty intense earthquake. Pretty intense. Wow, I hope the people that were affected by that um weren't too severely affected. That's pretty intense. Pretty intense. But yeah, it's a lot of, wow, lots of aftershocks, which are normal. But yeah, it felt like something shifted massively a few days ago, and then a lot of aftershocks from that as well. So the shifting that's going on, it's causing a lot of the energy that was free flowing, maybe around last week time, to begin puddling in certain areas. Um, Obviously, that's being felt on a global scale with like tectonic shifting, earthquakes, um, volcanic activity, all of that not so good stuff. But on a personal level, that can be experienced as struggle in certain areas where you were once having such a flow of creativity, flow of passion, all of that stuff. Um, what portal closed on Monday? I don't even know what the date is. I don't know what the date is. I'm so like, my senses are totally scattered and all over the place. Lots of intense personal events transpiring for quite a few people. I don't think the intensity is going to die down either. Okay. Um, I definitely don't feel like it's going to die down. I feel like it's probably going to uptick a little bit more. Um, wow. Michael, that is bizarre. Yeah, see what I'm saying? It's that whole like block you and then, I was just kidding. Block you. I was just kidding. So, yesterday was an insane day. I finally um arrived in um the San Francisco Bay Area to take care of some family stuff, and we had set up a reservation with Airbnb That was the hugest cluster fluff ever, ever. And what ended up happening was we arrived 4 hours after we stated we were planning to arrive in our reservation. And long story short, the house was filthy, and I'm a germaphobe of a whole nother level. And so obviously I was not going to just be okay with that. And I messaged the owner, who then proceeded to make things a lot worse. And we ended up leaving that property. And I was on the phone with Airbnb's customer support. And what ended up happening, customer support gave me the impression that they were going to side with the owner and not fully refund my reservation, which I was about to have a shit fit over. But then I was just like, that's fine, whatever. Whatever. I don't care. I have to get another place. And so we did. And not long after, we made a second reservation, which happens to be much closer to where my family is. So it's actually much more convenient, I guess, in some ways. I get a call from Airbnb, and they're siding with me, giving me a full refund, plus a little extra something on top for my next reservation. So again, it's like that illustration of create resistance and struggle, and then dissolve the blockage and allow even more to flow. It's just weird. It's weird. And so I think I'm not the only one that's experiencing that. I feel like so many other people are this
She gonna park it here?
Yeah, she is. You should just back up, because she's gonna park it here. Of all the parking spots,
Like millions of parking spots.
yes, it's okay. It's okay.
Should have just went for the full thing.
Anyways, yeah, I think the resistance that we feel, some of those headaches and setbacks that we experience, it has a lot more to do with priming energy to manifest something larger. At least it's comforting in one way to know that we're all, yeah, it is very comforting to know you're not being punished. You're not being singled out. Quite a few of us are experiencing this. And, if you are experiencing it, just know from what I have lived through, and I go through these patterns quite a bit. Typically when I experience patterns like that, it's because I haven't been really paying attention to the guidance of soul. And so soul is taking upon itself to begin redirecting me to where I need to be. So what ended up happening, we got a much cuter Airbnb reservation where my kids are much more comfortable. Yeah. And then we were like looking at vehicles to use for this important road trip that we're on right now. And I have a habit of like, I'll just settle for something just to get it over with. Like, just get it done with. Let's just be efficient about time. That vehicle caught fire. It started smoking.
We all smelled like it.
I was like, do you guys smell that? It caught fire. Like literally puff of smoke. Cars honking. And we had to pull over. And the guy was like, oh, it's just the brakes. I don't know. I don't think have ever seen brakes smoke like that. I don't think those are brakes. But long story short, we ended up in an even better traveling arrangement. You kind of just got to take things as they are, right? So as soon as I spoke to my cousin, because I called and I was like, you'll never guess what the hell's going on. And immediately she went into a frenzied, we're going to take care of this. We're going to find a solution. We're going to take care of this. She gets off the phone with me and she's like, I'm getting her a hotel and this and that. And then she calls me back and she's like, you'll never guess. And I'm like, what? For some weird reason, the hotel is sold out. I was like, sounds about right. Sounds about right. That's how my life works. That sounds about right. She's like, I don't know what it is you're doing. I don't know how you live like this. I was just like, that's the story of my life, boo-boo. But again, I don't think, because she was refusing to listen to me. I was like, no, we're just going to get another Airbnb. We'll find something. I'm just like really irritated. And she wouldn't listen. I haven't seen her in a long time, so she was just trying to accommodate, I guess. And we can't stay at a hotel because my kids have very specific health struggles. So we can't stay at a hotel. Long story short, when you find yourself being blocked left and right, you kind of have to just slow down and be like, all right, so where am I supposed to really be? Where are you guiding me to? That you're blocking every other path. Like, help me recognize what the path is that you want me on. So with that, I think you guys will find that some of the old relationships, interactions that you know used to be toxic, you might find that that's shifting. And I'm just getting this right now. I don't know why, but that's kind of what I'm being given, that things that were once toxic, you might be revisiting it very soon if you haven't already begun. This might be like reestablishing connection, communication with other individuals who you had cut out before. And it might be that absence has caused the two of you to mature in some way, shape, or form, so that you guys can meet at a middle ground again, one that isn't full of toxicity, at least for the right now. For some, this revisiting of old connections is going to lead to toxicity again. Given enough time, it will lead to toxicity again. But it's being allowed to kind of be the impetus to your leveling up. Many of us are kind of being ushered forward into another quantum leap in dimensional frequency, dimensional consciousness. So you kind of got to flow with that. It's going to be interesting to see how all of this plays out, because I'm pretty sure quite a few people are going to be like, God, God, wholeness, family. What? I'm sorry. Hold on. I can't quite see because of the sun. Let's see. Life definitely happens. Need to make a U-turn and go back into the light. Maybe quite the opposite. It might be quite the opposite. Maybe it's time for you, and when I say you, it's the generalized you, any of you, to recognize you're at the precipice, looking down at a huge, gaping, dark void. And the anxiety that you're feeling is this realization that you are teetering at the edge and you're about to fall into this huge, huge void and you don't know what's in there. Maybe everything that's great about you is what's in there. And maybe that's what you're afraid of. And the definition of good, that's very subjective, to be honest. That's very, very subjective. What do you perceive as good? What do you perceive as bad? Because bad events can actually be that doorway opening to a good circumstance. A deepening of a wound could actually be that trigger for the whole wound to heal in ways that up until now the wound hasn't been able to heal. So it's really in how you see things. And you can't really see things based off of any other filter than your own. Your filters that you use have more to do.
Can we hit that?
Will fit. Oh, I don't know. The filters that you use are based on your experiences in your life. So you can either allow yourself space to grow or label things with a negative label and run away from it. You know? Let's see. This week has been something else. It has been something else. Huge, just huge.
Please insert payment now.
It's been an up and down week, just focusing on the up because I have zero control of the down and need to roll with it. Nice.
Please wait while your transaction is being processed.
All that, guys. Let's see.
Thank you. Please forward slowly into the wash.
Spirit is getting forceful, saying, I'm not allowing you to distract any longer. You must engage in your truth and purpose. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's about to get real loud. Only clarity and confusion, which we say is light and dark. And maybe confusion is the most freeing thing ever. Maybe in that state of confusion, you enter a state where your perceived orientation can no longer misdirect you. In your frustration with oh shit. Your frustration with the not knowing, that throwing your hands up and like, I just don't know, is just enough to free you to finally move forward. Move forward from that place of being stuck. Wow. We're getting a car wash. So many of us are probably going to begin to feel lost. Is loss good or bad? Depends on who you ask. It depends on how you see things. If you're someone who always needs to have direction, yeah. If you're someone that always needs to be in control, being lost is going to be a very scary thing. Very, very scary thing. And being someone who's finally able to exist in much deeper states of totality. I used to have issues with control. I still do. But they're more better managed. And the fact that I'm able to release just enough control for energy and events to flow as they should, it really greatly helps the flow of my journey. You know, it's time for you to begin allowing for the shifts in your perception. Degree by degree, you have to allow the shift in your perception to occur. I I just saw someone's comment on one of my videos right before I came live. She said something along the lines of, I always feel off whenever they watch my videos, and it's like I fake being happy. So I mean, first off, that's probably a really bitchy thing to say. I mean, granted, that's your opinion. Granted. But yeah, no, that's pretty bitchy. That's a pretty bitchy thing to say. And then secondly, whoever said that if you're feeling sad you can't laugh? If you're feeling happy, you can't have some level of sadness? Who said that? Who decided that is how you have to live? You're either all one thing or all another. Who decided that? Because whoever decided that, I would like you to know, I do not consent. I will not comply. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. You know? Sorry, I'm trying to let all of this loudness, people trying to project their feelings onto you. I mean, it might be people trying to project their feelings onto me, or it might be someone who lacks the capacity to understand the existence of a totality. It might just be that she just really doesn't get it. She just really doesn't get it. And here's my thing. It's like being peed on. Here's my thing. There are certain things that my soul instructs me to share publicly. Okay? There are other things that I get to experience as a private individual. And certain things, if I don't want to share, I'm not going to share. And it just so happens that this is really weirding me out. I'm waiting for some crazy ass sounds. Why is it not as loud as, is it because the car is very insulated?
No, because this is not a loud process at this.
Oh, this one isn't loud?
No, it's not like all this stuff going on like a line. They did do all their.
Okay. I'm like trying to anticipate things and it's not going the way I'm anticipating it to go. So that's what all the weird, awkward pausing is about.
You're waiting for the line.
I'm like, what's next? Okay, so the thing is this, okay? Sometimes I'll go through things that are intense and I don't want to share. And that's okay. That has to be respected. That's not up for debate. It's not something I'm going to compromise and, you know, no. Maybe once upon a time I would have, because I do have cancer in my chart, and I do have this very dominant need to accommodate others. But yeah, no, I'm quickly getting over that. I'm quickly getting over that. And so right now, there's a significant event. I considered sharing it, and then I said no. I have every right to disappear for however long I feel like disappearing, to do whatever I need to do for myself. And if I'm experiencing something that's intense, whether other people could benefit from sharing my thoughts, my emotions, or whatever, I need to come first this time. And it's not me asking for people to understand. This is just a statement. Whether you understand or not, it really has nothing to do with my path, with what I'm going through right now. And so, I'm fake because it seems like there's some other underlying emotion while I'm laughing with someone on a live. If you want to see it that way, yes, there is sadness. Why is there sadness? That's for me to know. You know what I mean? And am I being fake because I'm laughing? No, I was enjoying myself and my company last night. Does that mean I'm fake? No, it means I'm a human being that's fully capable of feeling the totality of emotions. And you don't need to have any apologies just because you can feel. You don't need to always be, can you call down? You don't need to always be what people need you to be. Because sometimes what you need will never be aligned with other people's preferences of who you're to be for them in that moment. You know? And you're going to have to be okay with that. See, now it's loud. Hold on. So not good, you know. That's all right. We're hopping on the freeway anyways. But yeah, I kind of see it as a very sad thing when people think that in order to properly feel and process a sense of sadness or loss, you can't allow yourself to laugh. You can't allow yourself to have a break from the intense weight of whatever it is you're feeling. Look at that. They're making a cross up in the sky. This chemtrail shit is just out of hand. All right. But yeah. You always seem sad to me. I can never watch your reads because your energy... Were you the one that commented that? My energy is off because I feel? Exactly. Why are you here then? Why are you here? My energy is off. Stop playing yourself. Stop playing yourself. You're here because I give you information no one else can. Why are you here? No, don't be sorry. You're being real, and what you are right now is being a fucking bitch. For real. For real. Learn how to communicate. If that's not what you're trying to communicate, you need to adjust that shit. You really need to adjust that shit. For real. You got some balls. You got some balls to try and justify your continued condemnation of me for being a human being. For real, you should be ashamed of yourself. Legit ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed of yourself. Because if you have no idea what I've been experiencing for the past year, your opinions don't mean shit to me. You speaking on shit just because what you've come and seen this or that. If you don't vibe with my energy, get the fuck out. For real. For real. Why keep coming back? If it feels off, if your intuition is telling you I'm off, why do you keep coming back? Why? Why don't you listen to your higher self? Why don't you get this information for yourself? No, I don't, you don't get to tell me not to be mad. Okay? You don't get to tell me not to be mad because you coming at me sideways. See, here's the thing. Here's the thing. You coming into my space, trying to dictate to me how to conduct myself, how to feel, what to confess to a general audience. And then you can't tell me I can't react to it. Okay, you know my life? I've lived through domestic violence my damn self. And keep your fucking cookie, because I'm gluten intolerant. I seem depressed. I better seem fucking depressed. I fucking lost my mom. You want a damn cookie? You want a cookie for that? How's that feel? I want to let you know personally. Personally, let you know. Shove it in your fucking face. Let you know, okay? No, I will get mad. I will get mad. I will get mad. Because guess what? Guess what? I lost my mom however many months ago.
You don't gotta justify to this. No. Hey, why you gotta tell your story now? Because she forced it out of you. Peace.
And I'm going through something since last week that I will not share. You're right.
No, she forced that shit out of you.
You're right. No, I'm not going to share it. Because it's just for me and my heart. And I'm not going to share it. I'm not going to share it. And I have a right to be depressed. I have a right to feel sadness. And don't you dare think that just because you experience domestic violence, you have a right to You don't get to tell anyone that they don't have a right to be angry with the fact that you come at them sideways like a fucking bitch. That's right. And this goes back to what I was saying. You're going to find resistance. You're going to find that things are trying to pull you back to certain places within your mind, within your heart, within your journey. And these are things that you might wonder, like, what the fuck is this about? I thought I dealt with this shit before. Because, baby boo, you ain't the only bitch I dealt with.
It's true.
You ain't going to be last. And no, you ain't going to have your way with me. Okay? You ain't going to have your... I don't give a shit how fucking ballsy you are. I don't give a shit what you've gone through in your life. You don't know what I've gone through in my life. It has nothing to do with nothing. Okay? So, it's going to take you back. And you get to decide what you're going to do with that. Are you going to allow people to manipulate you? Because you guys witnessed that right there. It was a demonic attempt to manipulate me, to force out of me something I wasn't willing to share, willing to give. Isn't that what a rapist does? So, you, the person that was commenting, being victimized, having experienced a state of victimhood, you go and do that to other people. How fucking dare you? How dare you? You don't get to victimize me. You don't get to victimize me, okay? You don't get to manipulate me. You don't get to try and put that shit on me. You don't try and gaslight me and attempt to make me into something that I'm not. So people will challenge you. Circumstance will challenge you. And you get to choose. How are you going to see that? How are you going to allow that to grow you? To further expand your consciousness? she asked. A few days ago, the woman who loved me as her own daughter for my whole life passed away. Months ago, my mother died. And now the only mother I had left is gone too. And she just asked me to share with you. Not for your pity, but because you guys need to see how strong I can be. Because she wants to make it clear that even when I hurt so deeply, I still show up as promised. I have a right to be angry. I have a right to feel sad. In addition to those rights, I also have the right to continue living, to continue smiling, to continue laughing. And whatever someone else has been through does not justify their attempt to dominate you, to dominate your space, to demand from you the very things you're not wanting or willing to give. No one can take anything from you. They need your permission and agreeance, your participation to do that. So, first, I lose the woman who taught me my compassion. And now I lose the woman who taught me how to be strong. But I'll never lose who they raised me to be. Ever. Nothing's ever going to change that. Ever. And people will come before you to try and test your commitment to being who you are. They'll try and test. They'll try and accuse you of being something that you're not because of their small-mindedness. They'll try and justify their abuse of you because they've suffered what they perceive to be worse abuse than what you're experiencing at their hands. And it's really up to you what you're going to do with that. It's really up to you. You don't have to talk about anything or share anything with anyone that you don't feel like sharing. Fuck the people who feel they're entitled to a piece of you, to a piece of your journey, entitled to explanations that have nothing to do with them. That's good luck. We just got a car wash and a bird just right now. Shit on the windshield. That's good luck. I mean, I'm not Italian. Like, that's what Italians say. Are you just getting the kids?
Yeah.
So, yeah. just so gross. He's cleaning it off right now. Okay, Michael, you're Italian. Is that good luck or did I just make that up? I thought I saw that in a movie or something. I don't know. But yeah, no, when people try and force information out of you, there is an ulterior motive. It is. It is. It's usually because probably like that individual, I don't even know who what her name is. There's probably jealousy there. There's probably this feeling of this bitch is always trying to be happy. I got a miserable as fuck life and I want to hate on people. Anyone who represents any part of me that could be happy but ain't happy, I'm going to shit on them too. No, no, I know quite a few people like that. I know quite a few people like that. And no, that's your fucking issue. That's your issue. Okay? That's your issue. Just because you are being abused does not mean you have a right or an excuse to try and put that on anyone else. Someone like myself who has survived abuse, I would never abuse anyone because, baby boo, you don't have a heart like mine. You don't have a heart like mine, so I don't expect you to understand. But I do expect you to realize your fuckery is not going to be accepted here. Don't think my sad periods, my sadness, my depression as a form of weakness. It's not. I'm powerful in all my moods. Every life circumstance I go through, my power doesn't diminish. Just because I become a little bit quiet, just because I don't want to share everything like word vomit, to make people pity me? I don't need to share everything in my life. Quite a bunch of shit goes on in my life daily that I don't share, that I don't need to share. If you want to witness someone complaining about their life, go somewhere else, because that's not what this channel is about. Nor is this channel a love and light channel where it's nothing but positivity. This is not a light worker channel. This is not an energy work channel. This is Emmie evolving. This is you witnessing a human being evolving. Every day, every circumstance, I evolve into a higher version of me. And I have no apologies for who I become. Because no matter what, it's always going to be tempered with grace and compassion. No matter how much more powerful I become, it will always be tempered by grace and compassion. And sometimes the most compassionate thing to do is call you out on your shit. Your attitude is shit, baby boo. You don't get to shit on my lawn and then tell me I can't be mad that you took a shit on my lawn. You don't get to do that. That's narcissistic behavior. Get some fucking help for that. If you don't have the funds to do it, state-sponsored medical care. Okay? Apply for that shit. And if you're lashing out at me because you think I'm a safe space, because you've been through some shit in life, go to a battered women's shelter. I am not a dumping ground. I'm here to assist people in empowering themselves. This is me assisting you in your empowerment. Go to a battered women's shelter where you can get the assistance that you need. I'm not qualified or trained or licensed for that. I'm a human being having a human experience, living a human life. And if you can't accept that, you need to watch someone else. You guys, anytime someone feels off to you, why keep watching? Why keep watching? If it feels off, stop watching. It doesn't matter who it is. Exactly. Not every spirit that incarnates here can stand the full range of experience that this human life has to offer. And should that be a reason to try and bash other people? That's not going to be tolerated here. That is so not going to be tolerated here. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things, you know, being influenced by two very, very different women. Although they're sisters, my mom and my aunt are so different. So different. Polar opposites almost. And it gifted me with a totality. Being able to be ridiculously vulnerable while still maintaining a level of strength that it's a beautiful thing. It's such a beautiful thing. And, you know, it's definitely a process. Being back here again for a not so wonderful reason. It's definitely a process. And I will share this. A lot of realizations. A lot. Weeks before my mother suddenly passed away, I fought with myself about purchasing a plane ticket because I had just visited her, and I was planning to purchase a plane ticket to visit her again 2 weeks later. And I was like, that's too soon. I'll just wait. Had I purchased that plane ticket, the plane would have touched ground as she was being transported to the ER. I would have been there beside her when she died. But I decided not to. And she ended up passing away before I could even exit the state of Colorado. And that weighed so heavily on my heart. So heavily. And I should have just listened to my gut and bought the ticket. And last week, when I got word that things had gotten worse for my auntie, I rushed. I found out right before I was going to bed, and instead of going to bed, I purchased the first plane ticket and packed my stuff and went to the airport. And before I left for the airport, I was supposed to stay. I was supposed to arrive Thursday and stay until Sunday. I had everything packed. And right before we left, I changed my plane ticket. I decided to come home Friday. First flight home on Friday. If I kept my plane ticket the same, I would have been by her bed when she passed. And I realize now, as advanced as I thought I had become with understanding, with spiritual development, emotional development, mental development, with my aunt passing, I realized I would not have been able to survive watching my mom take her last breath. I would have interfered. I would have kept her here to suffer more. And I know that's why at the very last minute, I changed my plane ticket, came home early, because I would have interfered with my auntie too. It's so hard to let go of the things you become attached to. The things that you identify as the reason for your strength, the reason for your growth. Things that you identify as your foundation, as your safe space. I would have interfered. Because I know I'm not spiritually evolved enough, not even now, to not beg her to stay. And I'm so proud of her. She had so many IV bags attached to her, keeping her alive. She died same exact way as my mom. She had so many bags. She was so coherent. She left on her own terms. She left this life with no fear. she demanded to be let go. She demanded to be allowed to go back home and to remove all the medications that were keeping her alive. She's a fucking badass. She's a badass. There was no other way she was going to leave this world but on her own terms. And, I saw my uncle yesterday, who's like basically my dad. And we were, we're joking around with my cousin, and I hadn't seen her for years. She don't know what I do for work and stuff. And I was messing around with her, and I was like, I do exorcisms. And she's like, what? Stop playing around. And my uncle goes, no, she does. Your mom watches all her shows. I was like, what? She does? And he goes, yes. She watched you all the time. I was like, oh my God. My auntie is so big on not using bad words. I went live while I was at her house, like, I think it was last summer or something. I was live, and all she knew was I needed to live stream for work. And I didn't know my husband told her where to find the live stream. So she was watching the live stream, and I was cussing up I think I told someone off. And I come out of the room, and my auntie goes, why this fucking all the time? That's not good. I was like, I'm sorry. They just made me so mad. And she goes, oh my gosh. Yeah, no, it's been interesting. It's been a very interesting year. A lot of changes, a lot of shifting, a lot of loss that creates space for healing on such a profound level. Such a profound level. With the loss of two such influential women in my life, it's really opened the door wide open. Exactly, Kathy, for growth and learning, helping me to understand on a much deeper level lessons that were initiated by the loss of my mom. It's a beautiful thing. It truly is. Yeah, I'm still sad. But at the same time, I'm not. At the same time, I understand how this is supposed to grow me. So it's been interesting, to say the least. The areas of resistance are the areas where you'll experience the most growth. Those are the areas that are being primed to launch you forward, and that's why you're resisting. That resistance is necessary for that launch. It's absolutely necessary for it. So, yeah. It's beautiful. In my mom's last few months, I encouraged her to be more sassy and to tell people off. Yeah, tell people no, to not cooperate. I encouraged all of that because she was always such a passive, docile person. It's like I taught her how to flip people off. Like, you don't want to do it? You don't have to explain. Flip them off. Show them this finger. And I think there's parts of my auntie who could have been so rigid at times. Watching and listening to the things that I share with you guys and encourage you guys for your lives, I think it softened parts of her that she wasn't expecting. It's been an interesting year. Very interesting year. And, honestly, from this point forward, I think the path, the ascension path, for quite a few of us, it's going to be a steep incline. And you can do it. You can totally do it. Just because you have to climb very high doesn't mean you have to do it in one shot. You can definitely pause. You can pause halfway up, catch your breath, find a second wind, whatever you need to do, and then keep going. Just keep going. A lot of things are going to be changing for a lot of people. Again, a lot of shifting of energy, a lot of accumulation of energy in certain areas of your thoughts and your feelings. Don't allow anyone to shame you. Don't allow anyone to shame you into anything. If you're sad, you have a right to be sad. No one gets to tell you you're overreacting. No one gets to tell you that you're, coping wrong or any of that. Allow yourself to love yourself enough to process life as you see fit with no explanations. You don't have to explain anything to anyone. This concept of you have to confess things to other people. Why? Because you need permission? You don't need anyone's permission. If you want to cry, cry. If you feel like laughing, then laugh. And if people think you're crazy because you're doing both, then they obviously don't understand, and that's okay. That's okay. You can't hold it against the idiots for being an idiot. Yes, that was harsh. But that's the only way I know how to get the point across at this point. It's the only way I know how to communicate that. Because you have a right to feel angry when people disrespect you, regardless of what they've experienced in life. That does not excuse their deep treatment of you or their ill treatment of you. Okay? It doesn't excuse it. It doesn't. I've experienced quite a few things in my life. People think that, oh, she probably lives this like silver spoon kind of life. No, I don't. I don't. Okay? I have experienced domestic violence not with my husband, but I have experienced domestic violence. I have been physically abused. Again, not by my husband, but I have been physically abused. And I have never in my life abused someone else because that's not who I am. It's not. It's not who I am, and I'm not going to perpetuate that. It's not who I am. So people can be whoever they are, somewhere far away. Okay? Well, it wasn't something that I felt that I needed to get out. This was something I wanted to keep to myself, not because I was ashamed, embarrassed, worried about no. Because when I love something so deeply, I want to keep it to myself. It's like I said, I'm actually a very private person. And the only reason I shared this was because I heard my auntie. I heard her. She hasn't spoken to me since she passed away, and she did. And she told me, you let them know. And she totally would have said that in life too. You let them know how strong you are. And I'm like, I don't need to. And she said, yes, you do. And so I did. And that's the only reason I shared it. Because I'd been telling my husband, I don't want to share this. I want this to just be for me. I want this to just be mine. My moment for me, processed only by me. And then she said to share it. All right, guys. Yeah. So I got a lot of things to do. Tomorrow's her services. And I got a lot of things to do. So I get to do her makeup. I'm excited. I have to check. I even ordered her a wig. I ordered her this really bougie ass wig. And then I'm going to do her makeup like super duper fly. I have several stacks of lashes. Several stacks. So I know people are like, that's morbid. Why are you going to do her makeup? I did my mom's makeup too. I did my mom's makeup for her services and her hair. And my auntie saw it and she was, you're going to do mine, okay? I was like, okay. She'd been, every time she's talked to me over the past however many months, don't forget, you're going to do mine. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna make her extra glam. It's gonna be fabulous. We're gonna do a little bit of sparkly because she was bougie. So we're gonna do some sparkles. I got her this really amazing pixie wig. It's a lace front, and we're gonna do some finger waves. And she's gonna have her bougie earrings and everything. Yeah, she wanted to be dolled up, and I actually do know how to doll things up. So yeah, yeah. I'm gonna do her makeup in the morning. And it's just, well, yeah. It's definitely something else to be able to have such a intimate moment with them before their final farewell. It's definitely something else. It for my mom, it felt like I was getting her ready for like some sort of debutante ball. And you guys probably are already aware I can hear, see, I can hear, see, and all of that. And she was like, more, a bit more. I'm like, you got 4 pairs of lashes on each eye. You really need more? And she goes, yes. Okay, well, I'll put more. More blush. I mean, you're gonna look like someone slapped you. And she was cracking up. I was talking to my mom. You're gonna look like someone slapped you. And it was to the point our conversation was getting so loud because I was saying it out loud. Um, the mortician came in. He goes, is everything okay? I'm like, I'm sorry, we're being so loud. I'm sorry, we're being so loud. She's just being obnoxious with her request for more blush. And he was like, did you need any help? No, I'm good. She's good too. We're okay. I'm so sorry. I'll tell her to quiet down. And I'm like, see, I told you, stop arguing with me. I'm doing your makeup. Let's see. Oh, that's beautiful, Kathy. That's beautiful. I feel like if you are able to, you definitely should because you know them. You know their personality. Um, that was one of the things that people really commented on for my mom's services. They're like, "Oh my god, she still looks like her." And I'm like, "Who else would she look like?" But I do, looking back at other relatives who have passed, other funerals I've been to, the person ends up not looking like who they were in life because the person doing the makeup and the hair are not familiar with their personal style and preferences. And so, yeah, I definitely, everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, she looks so good. She looks like she's just sleeping." I was like, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She looked good. Yeah, no, it was an experience. Definitely difficult, but beautiful too. Beautiful. All right, guys, I gotta go. Bye, guys.